Timberwolves managed to stay alive with the 100-105 victory in Dallas against the Mavericks. Series is now at 3-1 in the Mavs' favor, and the Wolves tried to do the impossible, coming back from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs. And I'm not particularly excited after that one. I felt like the first three games were ones we should have won or very winnable that we ended up choking away at the end. This is a game that feels like we should have lost, but we won because there were so many mistakes that we got heavily punished for in this game. A lot of dumb things, a lot of things that are typically extremely frustrating watching this team that reared their heads very aggressively. Usually you can just point to the turnovers in this case. We had 15 turnovers, the Mavs had 14 turnovers, so just difference of one there, but we had double the points off of our turnovers versus theirs. They got 30 points from our turnovers out of their 100. Pretty egregious. At one point it was like 30 points out of their 80 too, so at least to close the game. Didn't turn it over. Well, what do you know? That's also the span where we finally grow a lead and win this game. So not much of a coincidence with that. Someone that we should talk about, you know what, before I get to that, the real difference maker, when you make all those mistakes and you're getting punished, you missed 9 free throws, shoots in the 60s for percentile on your free throw shooting. You have all these problems. What saves you in the NBA when that's the case? Shot making from your stars. The Mavs had the advantage in that the first 3 games. Timberwolves have the advantage in this game. We shouldn't have won this one, but our stars were making shots. Theirs weren't. That can swing games. Sometimes it's as simple as making shots versus missing shots. That's why they call it a make or miss league. So both Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns step up on the offensive end. Cat with the more efficient game, but he also comes along with typical Cat frustrations where he fouls out in this game with some of the worst fouls that you can possibly pick up. He's got one at half court. He has a very obvious over the back for his third foul in the first half. Has, I believe, 3 offensive fouls in this game. It was 2 or 3. And then he also fouls out, fouling Luka on a 3-point attempt late in the game. Just a horrendous play. So you got all that from Cat, but on the positive side of that, he was pretty simplified in how he scored most of the time. A lot of his looks in the previous games were pretty high in difficulty, and he was taking kind of those fading, falling away, running jumpers around the basket, and then some tougher threes, and I felt like he just kind of got back to basics. A lot of set threes in this game that go down 4 or 5 from 3, and then just getting to the rim and elevating against smaller players. When he was trying to shoot over Gafford, didn't go so well, even though he's also just a little bit smaller than Cat. But when it was a help defender or Kleba, like, he can just rise above. They're not going to be able to impact his shot. So I liked him just going to that. But when you fully turbo, don't take your time, barrel into someone, get a charge. We gotta stop that, man. It's been years and years and years where he gets called for this stuff, and he does not stop. But yeah, he still at least made the shots tonight, gave us something which we've been waiting for a while. And then Anthony Edwards had some good scoring pops in this one. He's been overall just really solid in this series, but the shots haven't been falling to the same degree. He's getting about 9 assists a game on triple-double watch just about every game in this series, and he's making the right reads, but I think he's also falling into a bit of uncertainty where he's passing off a lot of shots he would normally take. And one thing that's been bad with the turnovers, he has 6 in this game, it feels like all playoffs long, he's got a lot of turnovers right before half or right at the end of a quarter that ends in the opposing team scoring. And so finishing quarters is an extremely important thing in the NBA and the playoffs. And Ant specifically has been turning the ball over in those situations where you're kind of dribbling out the clock, you're going for the last shot. He's had multiple times in these playoffs where he turns it over with about 6 seconds left. The other team gets a bucket, gets points, and that's how you kind of dropped the momentum to end that quarter. So that's one thing Ant in particular needs to clean up a little bit. But I loved his energy tonight. All the mic'd up moments, him barking. He's just still such a great leader, and I feel good about us going back to Minnesota for Game 5. We really can't drop 3 home games in this series already to lose and be done with your season. They got to step up for the fans. Got to do it. I think they can. And then once you just need 2 more, man, does Dallas start to pucker a little bit. If we can continue to take something away on the defensive end like we did tonight, we made Dallas shoot 43s. They still shot all right. But when we were forcing more perimeter shots, we finally tapered the pain a little bit, as they only score 36 points in the paint, 10 fewer than the Wolves do. And we finally took something off the table, which is critical. And if we can continue to limit some of their offense and have at least on par production from our stars and other players, feel good about how this is going to play out. Well, I say feel good. We've got a shot at doing what has never done before. So not going to fully give up hope there, but it's very early to be like, oh, we got this. But you get to Game 6, you get to Game 7 at home, then it makes you think. And this defense should wear on you. You don't know how healthy Luka is. We have not played anywhere close to our best basketball or even good basketball for us, I think. And we've been in the running to win every single game. I'm just going to end this video here. Basically, I don't have much more to say. Slow-mo, not a big stat sheet night, but he really stepped up. We still have a shot. We have to prove it still. Haven't played our best ball. So there's still a chance, but yeah, I don't know. Ugly. Rudy Gobert could improve from rebounding too. Offensive rebounding hasn't been good for us. He can step up in that realm. Those are all my thoughts. I think I'm going to take this call from my mom. Bye. Hello. Hi, Mom.